You can't start the car. Johnny has the keys.
I need to have a clone is what I need.
That's because your dog's sitting city right now.
It's not just that. I'm also trying to ready a book for publishing. It's a,
Sweet.
yeah, it's a lot. And I got thoroughly depressed last night.
Why?
I was like, speaking of surgery, I had two in the last 6 months, and he told me what he's been through, and it made me feel like shit. I was like, God damn.
Heart issues, right?
He had a heart attack,
Right.
but hang on, and I will read this to you. After my heart attack, they couldn't revive me. I spent a month in a coma. After I finally came to, I was so weak I couldn't sit up. I had to be weaned off the respirator and then was on oxygen for a year. I was allergic to the blood thinner they initially gave me, and it caused clots.
Oh,
They had
shit.
Yeah, they had taken the veins to repair my heart from my left leg, and the clots gathered at the wound. In my right leg, they accumulated in my toes, and I ended up losing all the toes on my right foot. These are
What the hell?
I know, these are old stats, but a decade ago, 50% of the people with congestive heart failure died in the first 5 years. 15% made it to 10. It's been almost 9 years. I'll be 72 in a couple of weeks and still kicking. The meds are a lot better now. I know.
Holy shit.
I know. I was like, and I'm whining about not being able to sleep horizontally. Yeah.
We always see stories that are like from the awakening or the whatever, or the coming back from the coma, whether it's Johnny or whoever. But
Johnny.
isn't Johnny the character in
Oh, yes, in Dead Zone.
Dead
Yes, you are
Zone?
right. I was thinking Johnny from Night of the Living
Yeah.
Dead.
But we don't
Check. One, two.
we rarely see it from the end. Not anticipation. It's the waiting perspective, the person that's there, and the doctors are literally telling them, I don't know. They might come out, they might not. It might
Mm-hmm.
never, they might never. So what are you going to do? You're going to sit there with them every night, every day, every whatever? And how long do you do that? And
I would
that's just,
think you may be there a couple of days, and then when nothing happens, I would think you would just be on call.
yeah, but it can't adjust your life to the loss because there hasn't been a loss yet. That's got to be just debilitating from a psychological standpoint. Uh,
Yeah. Yeah.
wow.
None of it sounds great.
No, 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 no greatness sounding. No.
Today and do Halloween next Thursday.
Yes.
Because if we have to, we can push back top five.
And I
And
found all of my original notes for Halloween. It goes on for freaking pages, dude. It is
I
insane.
don't even want to look at mine because they're handwritten. I'm just going to start over.
Oh my God. So I'm going to try to group them, edit them, blah, blah, blah. But even all the trivia was cool, though. Stuff like the knife in the drawer in the first opening scene. That's Deborah Hill's
Hill's
hands.
hand. Yeah.
Yeah. But it's even got like my cynicism or my comments on it. Like, okay, if you are stabbing somebody to death, why do you turn and look at the knife up above you? Why would you ever do that?
Because John Carpenter is confused with POV.
Yeah, it's
Yeah.
POV, and I've got to show that the knife is going in.
Oh, I just want to see the blood on it.
Yeah, it's just one shot with a gleam in blood. Then we're down. Yeah,
That's funny.
but
That's funny. I'm almost through Doctor Who, and I think you would love it. I want to say at times it's light sci-fi, like the first episode reminds me of Terry Gilliam, but like I've seen some dark ones too, and one of them that was very Black Mirror-ish.
well, they do that. He's got some. I loved when to me, the reboot happened when Gaddis took over and they started redoing it with Smith, I think. That's when the new resurgence of Doctor Who happened.
They're paying homage to all of them. Like there's a scene in the last one I watched where a guy is scanning him and the faces of all the Doctor Who's are circling him.
Oh, that's a cool idea.
Yeah, because he morphs into a different person. That's how
Yeah.
they always recast it. And I think Cutie is excellent as the Doctor. He's just a great actor, period. I like the girl that's in it, and they've already renewed it for a second season. Disney is throwing money into it. It looks gorgeous. It looks theatrical.
Disney owns it now?
Disney is partnered with BBC, and they are co-producing it now.
Is Gaddis back producing it? Because he left. Right when Capriati came, he left.
Well, one of the big ones on it is Russell T Davies, and he's the guy that did Queer as Folk. And that's why there's a heavy gay bent to it now as well. It's quite obvious that the Doctor's gay.
Yeah, he did a woman last time, and now he's gay.
Okay, and black.
And black.
Yeah. And he's in the last one, he actually had a romantic interest that was really, really cool the way they played out. The way it ended, I was like, holy fuck, this guy's going to be back somehow. I know he is. And you feel that way about the villain that Jinx Monsoon plays, the drag queen. You're like, oh, that's a great villain. She needs to come back, or he needs to come back. They need to come back.
Well, and they'll do that. They are known for that.
Okay.
You need to go back like probably 6-8 seasons and watch Weeping Angel. It is my favorite Doctor Who episode ever. And it's
I don't know where I can get them. It's probably on BBC America, maybe. I don't know.
You can find it on other areas.
That's what's good about the new one is that you can get it on Disney Plus.
Well, yeah, because
but it wouldn't. Maybe they're going to get rights to the other ones. Maybe they already have. I don't know.
26 seasons.
Yeah.
Of Doctor.
It's crazy.
Yeah.
And I remember as a kid thinking, this looks like Hitchhiker's Guide to the Galaxy. This looks cheap.
Oh, it did. Yeah. That's why when it came back, and I'm pretty sure it's the one with Matt Smith. It's when, I forgot his name, but Gaddis is his last name, and he's the guy that did Sherlock as well. And he reinvented it. Took the schlock out of it, instead really devoted it and changed it. I can't remember when that was. I think it was like 2013 or 2012, somewhere in there. It says you can stream it free on BritBox. I don't know what the hell BritBox is.
We don't get BritBox, but we may get BBC America soon. I'm looking to see who produces it. Damn, the cast is fucking long. It's Phil Collinson and Russell T Davies are the executive producers. So I don't see the Gaddis guy in there. But what I love about it is that a lot of the episodes are paying homage to classic movies. Like the first one reminds me a lot of like Baron Munchausen or something. But there's one in there that's like Alien.
So Davies was the precursor to Stephen Moffat and Gaddis. So Russell Davies, it says, was the producer showrunner from 2005 to 2010.
It was probably his idea to do a woman. It wouldn't surprise me at all.
And then he came back in 2003. And in between that, from 2010 to 2017, was Stephen Moffat. And that's when I started watching it again. And thought it was
Stephen Moffat, if I'm not mistaken, did Coupling, and I loved that show.
Pretty sure he did too. Yeah, but his big partner in everything is Gaddis, who they do. I'm looking. Yes, his early 2000s sitcom Coupling.
Yeah. And Dennis and I think we have all those on DVD.
He wrote 6 different episodes during Russell T Davis's first era as writer,
Davies
as producer.
I just know that name because of Queer's Fault. And I'm not talking about the Showtime version. I'm talking about the original British version before Showtime. Showtime turned it into an American show.
Yeah, they tend to do that.
I mean, it was only like a 3-episode British miniseries, and that's it. And then Showtime turned it into like a 5-season thing. I like both, but I like the fact that he originated it. Anyway, I would recommend it. I think you would enjoy it, and I think that if you watched it, we could easily do a bonus episode on it.
All right. I'll just add that to my list.
I know, but I'm telling you what, man, that the Interview with the Vampire finale, Jesus Christ.
Well, I was going to share with you that, yes, I have begun my interview journey.
Oh, okay.
I watched the first episode night before last.
Oh, and
I think he's brilliant.
Lestat.
No, Louis. I think
Okay,
he's
yeah.
really, really, really good.
He just gets better.
And of course it hooked me because of the interviewer I love him. I think he's great. And I like the way they cynicized him and played him up. So I really liked that. But I'll admit, I went into it with a chip on my shoulder because I was going, why are you agendizing this? Why are you giving it A, gay, B, black, C, changing the entire time period?
Well, it's always been gay. Those books were always gay.
Well, but I think they were more homoerotic,
right.
Which to me is...
Yeah, they weren't actually having sex. Yes, you're right.
Right.
These vampires smoke and these vampires fuck. I can tell you that right now.
Well, there's nothing wrong with that. That was in True Blood too. So who cares?
I know. Exactly.
But it's brilliantly shot. It looks great. The music is really strong.
The writing is on par with the look.
And the writing, what really got me in the first episode was the writing changes. In other words, the dialect and the meter and everything in the flashbacks is totally different than him sitting and talking to him.
Mm-hmm. Oh, because it's modern.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But the way they do it, and it's not done with slang or hip or anything. It's done with attitude and verbiage and what they choose. And it's just really good. Mm-hmm. And I love stuff like there's sunlight right outside that window. And he goes over and opens the one thing goes and translucence and he puts his hand in it while he's talking. I was going, yeah, that is great. Mm-hmm. I love this. Anyway.
They only did one thing in the finale that bothered me. And honestly, nothing has really bothered me yet on this show. But at one point, Louis says, I have Armand's blood, which goes back because you're a descendant of anyone that you're bitten by. So he's descended from Marius, who is potentially, if I'm not mistaken, may even be descended from Akasha. But looks right at him and goes, I have Akasha's blood. And I was like, no, you don't. Not yet. Because it didn't happen until the next two books. So I don't know if they're fucking around with time. And they may be. Because the other thing that I had an issue with was Daniel Malloy being so old. But then they play it brilliantly with having two interviews, the one from the 70s and the one in the present, with the same guy. You'll find that out. It's not that big of a reveal. But Daniel becomes a vampire. And I was like, are they going to really make Bogosian a vampire? He's old. But I'll let you watch it and see what happens in the finale, because it is the end.
Well, he's dying, so it might make
sense. It makes sense.
And I love the fact that the first thing he played for him was the attack and said, forgive me if I'm not really happy about this, that he plays it. Last time we met, this happened.
Yeah. You are in for you're going to probably binge it because you're going to get addicted to it, because the way they flip it's like having an unreliable narrator. It's like you're getting all these stories and you're like him. You're like, I don't know which one to believe. You, Lestat, Claudia's diary, Armand, my memory, everything is playing into fact. And then that's what it all builds up to in the very last episode. You find out something that you didn't realize had really happened. And it's just brilliant. It's like whammo.
Well, I was also going to share with you that, ironically, based on what you told me last week, Barbara got hooked on Elsbeth and wanted me to watch it. So we've been watching that.
We've only seen like 3 episodes, I think. It's pretty funny.
We'll probably watch the finale tonight.
Oh, my God.
It's only like 8 episodes. It's
Okay.
not a long. It's weird to be a. I think it was a replacement because I think it started in like February or something. So I think it was a replacement season because it's only half a season. It's only like 9, 10 episodes or something.
And it's only like half a spinoff too, isn't it? She was like a secondary character on The Good Wife or Good whatever. Yeah.
Both Good Wife and Good Fight,
Okay. There you
according
go.
to research. But
Yeah.
I'll and you keep watching it and let me know what you think. I find it's drastically decreasing every episode.
Well, I've been having problems going back to it, and Dennis
Yeah.
keeps mentioning that because he wants to watch it, and I'm like, because it's the same formula, and I just see Columbo basically.
Oh, it totally is Columbo, but Columbo was better written. The last 3 that we've watched, I predicted everything and even the screw up within the first like 6 minutes, and it was stupid.
Yeah,
It was just
it's
stupid
corny.
mistakes. And
Yeah.
I was, well, no, if you're a criminal making stupid mistakes in a procedural mystery is bad. But anyway, so I'll be curious to know what you think. So
I just watched it because I like Carrie Preston, and I knew Dennis would be into it. But I play games while I watch it, so
yeah, like you said, it's one of those.
yeah.
I do too. I'm like reading stuff and everything else. And Barbara will go, "Did you see that?" And I go, "I don't have to. I know that she's going to go."
I know, and I have to keep my mouth shut too because I will blurt out what's going to happen.
And the whole coming in from the side thing, they've now made a whole signature. Every episode, when she's at least in the first 2 scenes, she'll come in sideways.
Ooh, that's going to get old.
Yeah. It's gotten a little formulaic.
I do want you to watch Doctor Who, but I'd rather you get through Interview first because I think you're going to love it.
Okay, well,
And
it should be good. I'm going to have a fanging. I talked to my guy who's doing all the fangs for us for Nosferatu, and he says he proposed a fang party, a fang fitting party. He said, instead of me mailing all of these to everybody, why don't I mail them all to you? You get the whole cast together and you guys do it all at the same time. That way, if you're more experienced, you can help each other. We can get the fittings right, yada,
Yeah.
yada. And I was going, that makes brilliant sense. That's going to be great. We'll
Yeah.
put everybody in fangs. So,
I can't wait to see what they do with the vampire Lestat. I don't know what they're going to do because in the book, he awakens Akasha with his loud singing because she's been buried for centuries or whatever.
she's Queen of the Damned, right?
Right.
Okay.
They can talk mentally across the world to each other, but she is deep and dormant, and it's his singing that wakes her up, and she basically wants to kill them all.
See, and I haven't read that book, so
Well, after what I have seen, I am going to let them reinterpret it if they need to, because I like what they're doing. On the other hand, Witches is coming back in 2025. They're already advertising it. And I'm like, ooh, I will hate watch it, is what I'll do. Like you do Star Trek. I will hate watch it.
that's a term, actually. Is
Yeah.
that a thing?
It is on one of the podcasts I listen to. I hate watch it.
That makes sense. I think I'm very good at that.
You are. You're a master hate watcher.
I'm a master hate watcher. I'm an MHW.
I think a hate watch has got a lot to do with the fact that you love the property and it could have been so much better.
Oh, yeah.
That's a hate watch. It's not because it's bad. It's because, oh, why are you screwing this up? Yeah.
Oh, yeah. We want to watch the train wreck this week. Yeah. Makes sense. Okay.
Yeah. You do meet Lestat in the first episode, don't you? Chat 1, 2.
Oh, yeah. He takes Louis in the
Okay.
first episode.
Because
remember?
that
That's the
guy
whole-
is Lestat. I mean, he is brilliant. When I watch him, I'm like, where did they find him?
I liked a lot of it. I watched the episode twice just to make sure.
Mm.
But
The
like,
production values look
I love the
expensive.
setup. I love the setup with the poker game where he essentially freezes time and talks to Louis. I don't know how he
Because
does
they're
that,
moving fast.
but
They're moving faster than perception of humans.
yeah, but Louis is not. He's immortal. So how is he able to do that? So I
Okay,
don't know.
then it's a charm then.
Yeah, some kind, because he calls it a trick.
It is. And he's
Um,
got they call it in the book, they call it the cloud trick but that means he can fly. But he's really floating more than flying.
Yeah, when he first bites Louis, they float together,
Yeah.
naked and everything.
That I understand, but I always thought in the book when they froze, it was because they were moving faster than anyone could see.
Yeah.
And which makes more sense to me than anything. But
Yeah, but he even takes a card from one guy and switches it with Louis' hand and switches it back, kind
yeah.
of thing. So I think, but I love that ostentation presence of his. He is so in control and aware, and I love it. He's a good Lestat and so much better than Cruz.
Yeah, and I like both the girls playing Claudia, and they look very much alike. But in the
I haven't
second,
met her yet.
in the second season, I hear her British accent sometimes. It's not a biggie, but when she's mad and yelling, you can hear it more because it's harder for her to control, I guess. Yeah, and she's mad a lot.
She's mad a lot.
Yeah. And you'll love the guy playing Santiago.
Okay.
He reminds me, it's not Oscar Isaac. Who's the guy in Children of Men?
Oh, Colin. What is his name?
Colin. It's not Firth.
No, it's not Firth. He's the comic.
Anyway, it doesn't matter. But he reminds me of like him, Oscar Isaac, and Jeremy Irons all put into one person. His voice is very Jeremy Irons. Clive Owen, maybe who I'm thinking of.
That's him in Children of Men.
I'm not sure that's who I'm thinking of though. Definitely some Jeremy Irons though. You'll see him when you get to the second season.
Okay.
He's more memorable than Stephen Ray is in the movie. I'll shut up.
3, 2,
1.
That looks better. Anyway, so before I left to go on this trip, though, I was doing the yard work and everything else, and evidently found poison ivy, and it's all over my hands and my arms and everything, and I'm horribly allergic. So I look like I'm a leper.
Yeah, Dennis got it on his legs like several years back, and he was having to treat it really carefully.
Yeah, it's horrible. It's horrible. So fun. At
least it's not on your nuts.
True. That would be
worse.
less comfortable.
Yes. Or your eyelids.
Yeah, well, I do have it on one eye right here, and it swells up a little bit. So right underneath it, but yeah, I found out. They said the urusol or whatever the oil is that actually people are allergic to, what the plant produces,
and it spreads when you scratch it or whatever.
Well, you're rubbing oil essentially, right. But a lot of people think it's because you're popping the blisters, and the blisters it's not in the blisters; it's already on your skin. But
you also spread it when you try to wash, I think, because the oil spreads and it's oil.
Right.
Yeah.
Right. And it also said that it spreads originally on anything you touch. It's like oil. So if you're gardening, or if you're wearing gardening gloves or something like that to get it on it, blah, 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 and it can last up to a year. So you could wear a jacket that had it on it, put the jacket in storage all year, take it out the next summer, put it on, and suddenly you get poison ivy again.
Yeah, because everybody wears jackets in the summer.
Well, or something, a shirt, whatever. So I'm just going to burn all my clothes.
Dennis, I don't know. I'm sure he probably did too. He got his from gardening, being out in the yard doing something, and probably pulling weeds and thought it was just a weed.
Yeah, it's horrible.
Yeah.
So I'm uncomfortable. But other than that.
Check 1, 2. I don't understand why my levels look low on Audacity, but am I not talking into the mic? Maybe that's it. I don't know. I caught something on IMDb this morning talking about shows that had been released or renewed or canceled or renewed and canceled. And The Boys is renewed for a final season. It's renewed and ending. And Interview was renewed, of course. And Fallout is renewed. The Connors is renewed and ending. The reason I mention that is because Dennis watches it. And it's okay. If you like the old show, it's very much like it without Roseanne, which is good. So
yeah. True.
I was trying to think. Oh, your show, For All Mankind, has been renewed.
Yep. But I'm not going to use it today. I'll probably use it next week. But I finished season 4 finally.
You don't sound very happy.
No, wasn't good. Sadly.
Oh, Star Trek Strange New Worlds has been renewed.
For a 4th season?
I guess a third. I don't know.
No, 3rd's already in the can, so it must be for 4th.
Oh, maybe.
Well, that's good because Skydance just bought Paramount, and that's huge. So it'll be curious to see what happens now.
What is Skydance?
Skydance was a little independent company that they've done a few movies with, and they're big movies. I can't remember them right now, but they're like CEO is now one of the biggest moguls in Hollywood, like overnight, because they bought Paramount for like, I think 3 billion, 1.3 billion. I think a three's in there somewhere. But they've produced, you'll recognize the movies they've done.
I recognize the logo. Didn't it have like a dog or something? Seems like it did.
Don't remember. David Ellison is the head of it.
No, maybe it didn't, or maybe it's old one did. Hopefully he's a Star Trek fan and hates what they're doing.
Hopefully. We'll see. I don't know.
If he's just in it for the money, then he's going to let him keep rolling.
True. Oh, one of the big movies they produced last year was Top Gun Maverick. That big, huge frickin' cruise vehicle.
There's only, well, it may have been popular because Cruise was in it and because it was a big movie in the 80s. But the reason that movie was mega popular is because of COVID. That was coming out. It was the first big release, and people had been locked up for 2 years.
Yeah.
I'm not giving him any credit. Fuck him.
Oh, well, like I said, I don't think it was necessarily him. It was that, I think it was
the circumstances. It was like a perfect storm.
Yeah, and it was based off of Top Gun. It was a sequel to Top Gun, which everybody loved, so they took all their kids. All the dads took their sons to see Maverick.
Circumstances, yeah.
But so Skydance did World War Z. They did Annihilation, another one we like.
Is it? I wonder if Brad Pitt owns part of it because he had something to do with World War Z.
They've produced the last 4 Mission Impossibles. They produced all 3 of the J.J. Abrams Star Trek films. So he evidently does like Star Trek, or the company does. But that's new Trek, and so that's where he might go. But whatever.
But
we'll see.
It's also old Trek, and so is Strange New Worlds when you think about it, because it's set in the past with the old guys.
Yeah.
But the thing is I'm seeing an interview with a Vampire Connection because you're talking like Tom Cruise and Brad Pitt movies. That's weird. I know Brad had a lot to do with producing World War Z. I don't know if he's affiliated with that Skydance, but you just mentioned, what, 4 or 5 Tom Cruise movies.
It'll be curious to see what happens at Paramount, streaming-wise, everything else, because Disney's pulling back and canceling stuff for streaming and all that too, because they're just not making money on it. I think they're making money. I don't think they're making the amount of money they want.
Maybe not, but I'm watching good stuff on all of these channels, even Paramount. I caught a Cyndi Lauper documentary on Paramount the other day that was great. I was like, this is really good.
Well, and the kind of fear thing is that they'll stop being major producers and things like that, and instead just retread old stuff in streaming and still keep it going. So not be as innovative as like Netflix used to be and HBO used to be and all these pay-per-view services that had all this money, so they were looking for IP and wanted new stuff and stuff that people hadn't heard of before. And that's where you got like Game of Thrones and all the Netflix stuff.
Well, I was going to say, the power players are Disney because of Star Wars and Marvel, Paramount because of Star Trek, and HBO because of everything. Game of Thrones, The Sopranos, Sex and the City. I can't think of Netflix, what do they have? They have Stranger Things. Now, they could build a franchise out of that. They could do spinoffs of that show if they wanted to. But Netflix doesn't really own a major franchise.
Well,
Do they?
but they produced quite a lot.
They do, but they're one of those that throws everything at the wall to see what sticks.
Yeah. Yeah. Let me see. No.
And Disney has partnered with BBC and is doing Doctor Who, and that show was good. I was surprised. You may disagree because some of it is, I guess, what you would say light sci-fi, but it looks good, and the cast is strong, and I'm in, and I'm hoping they bring back certain characters that only had like one episode. But I haven't watched The Acolyte yet, and I haven't watched The Boys yet. See, The Boys is a pretty good franchise for Amazon, and they've spun it off. But I always wait until they're all out so I can watch them fast if I want to.
Oh, Squid Games was another Netflix original.
That was a remake of a Korean thing.
Yeah. Yeah.
I know Netflix is a power player because they were the first in, because they were already a big DVD business. Then they went to streaming pretty fast. I just think that people like Disney and Paramount and HBO are the ones that have the IPs.
But HBO was bought by, what was the other one? What was the other company that just bought it?
I have no idea. Oh, yeah, I do. We talked about this a while back, but it's been a while.
Yeah. Because there is no more HBO and there is no more Cinemax. They're all one company that's like, I think, Max now, that is also owned by another parent company. It's not Blackstone, but it's one of the bigger corps.
What's interesting is the ones that are building. And like I would think AMC Plus could become a player because AMC continuously produces really good television. They are responsible for not only The Walking Dead and Interview, but they also did Breaking Bad, which has had 2 spinoffs and a movie.
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
And
they've had huge tent poles.
So
Didn't they also do that one Stephen King one that we liked? The short miniseries?
No, that was HBO. The Outsider?
Yeah.
That was HBO.
Oh, okay. Okay.
However, another player in my book, and folks, if you're listening to this, if there's a bonus thing, is FX, man. They do great television. I watched all 5 seasons of Fargo so far and love it. They did one good season of Legion, and then I just got lost in the second season. I didn't keep going with it. But they're going to be doing Noah Hawley's Alien show as well, the guy that did Fargo. And
yeah, the Earth-based one.
Yeah. And so I think if I had to put my 2 favorite networks out there, it would be AMC and FX as far as strength on originality and, I don't know, performance, writing, all that stuff.
Yeah.
And they both have streaming. Well, I don't know if FX does. Does Fox have a streaming platform? Because isn't FX Fox? I think it is.
I think it is.
I think they're just separate within their own company, Fox and FX. But like FX is the more highbrow and Fox is the regular television.
Yeah.
But I know AMC Plus has a streaming platform because I'm getting ready to subscribe to it. I am. If you subscribe to AMC, you get AMC Plus. Well, AMC, you get Shudder, you get IFC, you get Sundance, and you get BBC America.
Wow.
For the same price that I pay for Shudder. So why subscribe to Shudder when I can get all 5 of those?
Yeah.
And watch Interview with a Vampire and A Walking Dead without commercials.
3, 2,
1.
You can't start the car. Johnny has the keys.